All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Jen Andrews. I'm a project director at the Sustainability Institute, and I have the privilege of welcoming you all here this afternoon for our 2017 Sustainability Fellows exhibition and celebration. This is a celebration of some amazing work that has happened over the summer and some even more amazing people doing that work. This is exactly, and many of them on both sides of the aisle, really, exactly. And Allison's so this is the 10th cohort of fellows and mentors that I've had the pleasure of working with since we started the program in 2008. And since many of you have been part of the story of the program, you already know it, you've been a sort of vital piece of it, but a few of you are maybe newer to the program, so I wanted to give just a very brief overview of the story. As I said, we started in 2008, and we started it as a 2-year kind of pilot program at a local nonprofit called Cleaner Cool Climate, which worked on climate change solutions in New England. And the idea then was twofold: get some great work done accelerating climate change solutions in New England, and provide rich experiential educational experiences for the emerging kind of cadre of sustainability professionals who are going to be on the front lines of doing this work. And after that 2 years, thanks to the generosity of some really key supporters like the Thomas W. Haas Foundation and Jill Lamprey, we were able to continue the program and grow it. Partly we were able to continue it and grow it and make it richer by virtue of the fact that we had some amazing partners, and many of those partners were at the University of New Hampshire, including you're going to hear from in a minute. And in 2013, thanks in very large part to the vision and tenacity and leadership of Tom Kelly, our executive director and chief sustainability officer at the Sustainability Institute, we were able to actually bring the program from Clean Air Cool Planet when it sunsetted to the University of New Hampshire. And here it has really found the most amazing home and been able to thrive and grow. And I need a clicker. Oh, thank you so much. And so since 2013, we've doubled the number of fellowships we offer every year. We've broadened from climate change to sustainability. We've focused more on research, on mentorship, and on really supporting the network that we're building here. And so now we have over 100 alumni working for some amazing organizations across the US and across the globe, making change and leading. And I'm so thrilled that at the end of next week, I will be able to welcome this group who you're about to hear from and be inspired by into that alumni network as well.
Great, thanks, Jen. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Cameron Wake. I'm a research professor at the Institute for the Study of Earth, Oceans, and Space, and also the Josephine A. Lamprey Professor in Climate and Sustainability at the Sustainability Institute. I also want to welcome you all here today in this celebration of our Sustainability Fellows and the overall program. Before we hear from the fellows themselves, I really just want to provide 3 examples of the significant value that our Sustainability Fellowship program delivers in terms of helping address some of society's biggest challenges while educating our next generation of sustainability leaders. First, we know from a range of studies and surveys and personal experiences that projects where students work closely with mentors to answer or address a specific societal challenge are one of the most important academic experiences that they have. You might think that faculty are all about publications, right? Well, in part we are. But a much more significant aspect of our legacy is the success our students have after they graduate. And the Sustainability Fellows, I expect, you got that, right? Will be one of the Sustainability Institute's greatest legacies. Second, the fellowships are designed to help our students transition from theory to practice. And one of the ways we do this is by working with external partners to identify projects that are not only challenging, but help to solve a particular sustainability challenge. In this way, we expect the knowledge and experience gained by our students help catapult them into the next phase of their life experience. And third, and perhaps most importantly, by collaborating closely with our external partners and our newest partner, the New England Municipal Sustainability Network, that you'll hear a lot more about today, we're developing a network of academics and sustainability professionals, students and mentors, young and old, across a range of professions that are critical to assist in the difficult and challenging transition to sustainability. Okay, Sustainability Fellows. I just want to let you know I am really inspired by all of the wonderful work you have done this summer. I really look forward to hearing all about it. I ask one more thing of you, well, in addition to finishing up your projects, is that after you leave this program, I want you to continue to dream big. Right? You've had an education that many of us in the field did not have, and we actually do expect great things from you. Also, for our, I'd just like to thank our mentors for all the hard work that you've done, and we've got a few joining us by Zoom. They're out there somewhere, not only in working with the Sustainability Fellows, but also engaging in the grand challenges that sustainability presents. All right, I think we stuck to time. Jen, I think we're good. Now a few logistics and on to our Fellows lightning round. They each have a minute and a half to talk about their projects, why they are important, and what they learned from their project this summer. Hopefully, all of you have a program guide.
They're on the back table.
If you don't, they're on the back table. We can pass them around. But that's really your guide to the lightning round, so you know who's speaking and who their mentors are and what the title of their project. Jen and I will introduce the fellows in 5 different groups, and we're not going to take a lot of time doing that, so each of the fellows is briefly going to introduce themselves. We're really asking you to hold your applause to after all 23 of our fellows have presented, but when we get to that applause, we're going to want to go big. And as I said, we have a few mentors on Zoom, and we'd like to welcome them to the event. All right, so with that, on to our fellows. You'll hear from our first group of 6 Sustainability Fellows, Renee, Brendan, Deirdre, Sam, Philip, and Marina. All of these fellows worked on outward-reaching projects of regional significance on issues ranging from sustainable food, to sustainable infrastructure, to hand printing, to climate change assessments, to mental health impacts of climate change. Renee is first up, and Renee is joining us by Zoom because she already has started a position with Food Corps AmeriCorps, a national service organization that works to improve food and garden education in schools. Renee, you're up.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Kim and Jen, for the introduction. Again, my name is Renee Smith. I am a master's candidate at Vermont Law School, studying food and agricultural law and policy. And as Kim mentioned, I'm also starting my Food Corps service year with the Athens Land Trust. And so today I'm going to be speaking with you about my work with the New Hampshire Food Alliance. So over this the summer, I had the pleasure of working with the New Hampshire Food Alliance to develop a matrix. It's up here in the left corner, as you can see, that identifies gaps in service providers at various stages of food and farm businesses. Some of those stages may include exploratory, startup, or growth and diversity, and we identified different service providers within New England as well as specifically New Hampshire that can offer services to strengthen farm and food businesses. I also gathered best practices from regional stakeholders down here on the bottom right corner under profiles and commonalities. And some of the best practices that we gathered are such as challenges with enrollment and retention, but also the successful model of matching clients and service providers across the state to provide skilled expertise for businesses. The work is important to New Hampshire Food Alliance because it links resources for businesses and also provides tools to create viable local food businesses, and also just focus on the importance of strengthening of the local economy. This work was incredibly insightful to me because I had the opportunity of really getting to understand the economic development and research of local food as well as the support for local businesses, and I look forward to using that information in my future endeavors. Again, my name is Renee, and just thanks everyone for listening. I really appreciate Thomas Haas for the fellowship opportunity. Thank you so very much. Also, thank you to my mentors, Ben and Charlene, as well as the rest of the New Hampshire Food Alliance team, including Jen and Aaron, as well as the help of Megan and Jen Andrews as well. Thank you, everyone.
One's okay.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. My name is Brendan Landry. I'm a recent graduate of the University of New Hampshire, graduating with a degree in health management and policy. This summer, I had the privilege of working with the New Hampshire Community Seafood to help them develop a presence in farmers markets across the state, while also expanding their community-supported fishery. So through these experiences, I've really had the incredible opportunity to connect with many different stakeholders in the field, from fishermen themselves to consumers to prestigious researchers and members of academia. I think the most incredible experience I've had is waking up at 4 a.m. to go out there on one of the boats with the fishermen and chatting with them about what it means to be a fisherman in today's society, and hearing that from him, that the work that we're doing allows him to do what he loves and provide local seafood here to people right in New Hampshire, while also providing for the sustainability of the fishing industry in the ocean stars that are up there. So it's really rewarding and really instilled a passion in me that I hope to continue as I move on. I'd really like to thank my boss and captain, Andrew Tomlinson, who really instilled in me a passion for the fisheries and made me realize what it means to really care about something that's so near here to the seacoast and this culture. I'd like to thank Tom Kelly and Al Farrell for allowing me to play a part in the research and connecting with many different stakeholders in the fisheries. And I'd also like to thank Megan and Jen for keeping my head on straight throughout this entire process. So thank you very much for being here.
Thanks, Brendan. My name is Deirdre Shipp, and I'm pursuing my master's in agriculture, food, and the environment at Tufts University. This summer, I worked with the UNH Center for Infrastructure Resilience to Climate as the Groundwater Impacts Fellow. So my fellowship involved mapping the effects of sea level rise and groundwater rise in coastal New Hampshire, namely the effects on the coastal wetlands and the ecosystem services that they provide. Our unique focus looked at groundwater rise effect on the freshwater wetlands, which has seldom been explored before in New Hampshire. From the existing wetlands that you can see in the beige are study projected areas where new wetlands are expected to be formed due to the sea level rise scenarios, which you can see in green, as well as projected areas within the existing wetlands that will experience substantial increased wetland depth, which are highlighted in the blue areas. Our findings could be utilized by the Regional Planning Commission as well as the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services to identify vulnerable areas and address how best to conserve ecologically, economically, and culturally significant wildlife and vegetation found in those wetlands. I'd like to thank my mentor, Jane Knott, especially, my other mentors, Dr. Daniel and Dr. Jacobs, for this opportunity. I got challenged a lot through GIS, and I was exposed to working with the regional model, which are two aspects that I'd like to continue in my graduate coursework. And I'd especially like to thank Jane for exposing me to the world of pavement engineering. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Deirdre. Hello, my name is Samantha Lubesky. I am finishing up my master's at the University of Vermont, and I'm studying community development and bioeconomics. My mentor is Dan Quinlan, and our project focused on exploring the mental health impacts of climate change and figuring out how to effectively communicate these. So I figured out that in order to effectively communicate these impacts, storytelling lies at the heart of effective communication. And storytelling requires humility and empathy. Humility to admit that we don't know everything that will resonate with our audiences, and empathy to begin to imagine what might best work for them. And on the right is the fishing guide, Tim Moore, and he was kind enough to take me out on this boat where I interviewed him. He is adversely impacted by climate change due to rising temperatures and the increased unpredictability of the weather. He identifies as a Republican, and he told me that he gets a lot of grief from his friends who say, why do you believe in this? Why do you do this? And he tells them, show me a climate change solution that's a bad idea, and then we'll talk. His resilience helps keep him going. And before I left his boat, he handed me a Swedish fish and told me, no one leaves here without catching something. So storytelling, if done right, can result in building trust and connection, which pave the way for action. And throughout the rest of my life, I hope to be able to continue to tell stories that speak to people. I would like to thank my sponsor, RGSCP, Healthcare Without Harm, Sola Vita, my mentor, Dan Quinlan. I've enjoyed all of our chats. Jen Andrews, Cameron Wade, Roger Stevenson, Nat Lane, the interviewees for bringing my project to life, and also Megan.
Thank you, Sam. Hi, everybody. My name is Philip. I'm a graduate student at sorry, I was distracted by I'm at the Harvard Extension School. I'm getting a degree for sustainability there. This summer I worked for a startup that is called Handprinter that promotes hand printing activities. Handprints are positive actions that we can take that are good for the environment. And the idea of the startup is that we would spread these ideas in the community and among our friends. It's about changing behavior, which I'm very passionate about, so this was a great fit for me. I was also lucky because we had our first client sign up right when I joined. That was not my credit, but it was just a good coincidence. And so this was a corporate client who wanted to introduce hand printing as a way to engage their employees in doing good things for the environment, like installing LED lights or low flow shower. So what could have been a more theoretical fellowship became a very practical fellowship right away. And that was great for me because I learned, what it takes to actually make these things happen on the ground, which is quite challenging. So we learned a lot, we improved, and I hope we will make our concept even more amazing than it already is. I have to thank two people in particular. Nicole, who was one of my mentors, whose great problem-solving presence in our meetings was just amazing and super helpful. And also Greg, who invented this hand printer concept, and whose positive energy was just very inspiring. Thank
Hey
you.
everyone, my name is Marina Bowie. I'm a senior undergraduate student at the University of New Hampshire, where I study economics and sustainability. And I worked this summer for the UNH Institute for the Study of Earth, Oceans, and Space on a project for updating and expanding New England climate assessments. My project involves working with Northeast meteorological climate data in our statistical software to calculate projections into the future involving air temperature and precipitation. But before I could do this, before I could do this, I had to learn how to code with our software. And I also had to wrap my head around the vastness of the data that I would be working with, which are both challenging. And one specific challenge that I had was working for a couple of days to find a comma misplaced in my 200 lines of script. But I was motivated to work through these challenges because, one, New England is my home and I love it here, and two, because I knew that the result of this project would be something that key stakeholders like business people and climate managers and all sorts of other people would use to answer questions about resiliency and preparedness. Besides coding this summer, I learned that you can have a huge impact on a project that you might not even see finished. And I also learned the importance of collective efforts within a learning community. And with that, I'd like to thank my mentors, Cam Lake and Liz Brickowski, as well as Danielle Brogan, who offered her expertise in our software, and all of the UNHSI community. Thanks, everyone.
All right, we can give them those. Thank you.
There's so much more that I can come. Our second group of students, Adam, Evie, Noah, and Micah, were placed with partners in the New England Municipal Sustainability Network, or I call it NUNS Network now for short, because it's easier to say. And this is a group of sustainability professionals who are working in communities across New England to advance sustainability. They're an amazing group. And Peter Brits is on the steering committee. He's here somewhere, or was it? Oh, there he is. So we should ask him about it, because they're doing great, like so important work, given the urgency of the challenges that we're facing in the political situation. It's so important. And so we're thrilled to be able to have fellows working with NIMS network communities. And so this group of projects that you're about to hear about focused on a range of things, analyses and mapping and outreach, and you're going to be inspired. So, Adam.
Thank you so much, Jen. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. My name is Adam Haas. I'm a master's student in urban planning at MIT. And this summer, I got to work with the city of Cambridge on a renewable thermal roadmap for residential buildings within Cambridge. So the broader reason we're doing this is to solve climate change, we need to decarbonize everything very quickly within the next 35 years. And In order to do that, we have to address the largest sources of emissions. Heating is 56% of our energy use in buildings in Cambridge, and that is almost entirely all fossil fuels. Luckily, there are good sources of things to replace fossil fuels with, mainly air source heat pumps. An air source heat pump works by moving heat from one place to another rather than creating combustion. And this is an image of what they typically look like within Massachusetts, with the outdoor unit condensing and the indoor unit as the head evaporating heat. In order to understand where to put these things in Cambridge, I looked at which buildings would be best suited for air source heat pumps. And this is a map of the 1 to 4 unit homes in Cambridge and whether they are suitable for adopting an air source heat pump. This is just a broader picture of our work. We are trying to figure out how to make a net zero city. And I've been incredibly inspired to see that Cambridge is able to not only move things forward within its boundaries, but at the state level in those conversations. And to conclude, I'd like to thank Nikhil Nakarni, my mentor, who's in the back, the entire Cambridge Environment Transportation team, and the broader UNH community for the support of the summit. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Evie. I'm a grad student in engineering management from Dartmouth College, and my job this summer is to work for the Heat Smart Outreach campaign in Northampton to help them increase the market share of air source heat pump installation. I work closely with my mentor Chris Manson, the officer of energy department, and I'm deeply moved of how he is involved with the local people and community. There's already several energy projects going on in Northampton, but none of them can be practically work to help with the target market. This is why I developed this dashboard in Tableau to help using all of the building factors as a filter to find the target market for air source heat pump installation. For example, you can choose a different neighborhood to see the basic characters of all the homes in a certain area, or you can select homes with using electricity and with PV panels as a potential target audience for the air source heat pump. And this is also a great tool for the city to keep track of all the energy data every year. I'm very lucky to work with all the passionate people this summer and contribute back to the community throughout this internship. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I'm Noah Goldstein, and I'm a senior at the University of New Hampshire, and I'll be getting a degree in environmental engineering. This summer I worked with the town of Amherst, Massachusetts, and my main project was to map their stormwater infrastructure in order to comply with the EPA Phase 2 Stormwater Management Plan, which makes it so that municipalities need to have their storm drainage system correctly mapped in order to trace back contaminant outbreaks from the source that they're found at and be able to find the point source of the solution, which then allows these communities to mitigate the effects that these contaminant outbreaks will have on U.S. waters and groundwater from when stormwater is discharged into open farmlands. So on this map up here, this is a map of the storm drainage system, and while a lot of work was done, all of the yellow triangles are catch basins that still don't link to outfalls via drain lines. So there's still a lot of work to be done by the town, but I think that I've set them up well for the future to be able to meet these regulations. So along with this project, I got to work with a lot of different entities throughout the Department of Public Works. I worked with the wastewater department, I could operate the vacuum and flusher truck. I worked with the water department. I worked with the field engineers. And through all of this, I learned, I had so many conversations with so many different great people, and it sort of reoriented and reinvigorated me to realize that I want to bring sustainability into the civil engineering field when I leave here. And so I'd just like to thank everybody who made this experience possible, as well as my mentor, Gilbert, and everybody here at the Sustainability Institute. Thank you.
Thanks, Noah. Hi, everyone. My name is Micah Bachlig. I'm a master's student at Cornell University studying sustainable design, and I was the Neighborhood Sustainability Engagement Fellow for the summer. So my main project for the summer was to create a guide for the Office of Sustainability that promoted community-driven sustainability and healthy outcomes initiatives around Providence. And this project stems from the idea that as a community member, accessing city resources and services can often be a complex, convoluted process for a variety of reasons. And so the final is this roughly 20-page Sustained PBD community guide that I'm in the process of finalizing, editing, and vetting with the city. It includes information such as how to join a community garden in Rhode Island, how to join a Friends of Parks group, but it also includes information like what to do to get a permit to throw an event in a city park or a rec center, and also like what services are offered in which city buildings around Providence. So in short, this work aligns with the City of Providence's goal of weaving racial equity into its sustainability work. And personally for me, it's been very meaningful because I see it as fundamentally increasing access to the fruit of sustainability work to everyone and not just a select few. So I was also able to do some projects with the Healthy Communities Office and Planning and Development. And so in short, I'm just so thankful for all those who helped make this experience possible for me, especially those at UNH SI, Jen and Meg, thank you so much, and the Office of Sustainability in Providence, and my mentor, Leah Bamberger. Thanks.
Thank you, Micah. All right, and now our third group of Sustainability Fellows, Lauren, Brittany, Taylor, and Marissa. They also all work with the New England Municipal Sustainability Network to analyze the community's carbon footprint in support of municipal and climate action planning. Lauren, you're up.
Thanks, Ken. Hey everyone, thanks for being here. I'm super excited to share with you the details of my project in the summer. So I worked this summer for the City of Somerville's Office of Sustainability and Environment on an update to their greenhouse gas inventory as part of their climate change planning process. And during the academic year, I am a graduate student at UMass Amherst, where I study sustainability science and regional planning. So in 2014, the City of Somerville set a goal to become carbon neutral by 2050. This was followed by 2 initial greenhouse gas inventories that used 2014 as the base year. Now here we are in 2017, and this process is in full swing. But as we move forward, we can't forget about monitoring. And just to add, there were 2 inventories that were created. One was for the local government operations only, and the other was for the community-wide emissions as a whole, and I'm going to talk about both of those. So how is Somerville doing? What we're seeing in the local government operations is that overall emissions are down by about 10% since 2014, and they're down across all sectors except for on-road vehicles. As for the community inventory, results put us here, which is moving in the right direction, but not exactly where we want to be. So the top solid line shows business as usual projections, and the dotted line shows our target trajectory towards carbon neutrality. We're making it, but not there. One important lesson that I learned over the course of the summer is that while there are lots of great resources out there to guide your methodology, the protocols don't tell you where and how to get the data. It's really the people that do. So a lot of people contributed to this project, and I'd like to thank them all. And a special thank you to Oliver Sellers-Garcia and Hannah Payne, my mentors, whose passion for sustainability and for Somerville made my first foray into local government a really heartening experience. I'd also really like to thank everyone at the Sustainability Institute and all my fellow fellows, because you guys are awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lauren. Hi, everybody. I'm Brittany Pollock. I am a recent graduate from the University of Virginia with a degree in global sustainability, and I worked with the town of Dedham this summer as their climate action analyst. So in 2010, Dedham set a goal to reduce their emissions 20% by 2014. However, they did not reach this goal. One of the main factors leading to this may have been the fact that their data set for their baseline year, 2008, was incomplete, and the lack of data made it seem as if their emissions were much less than they actually were. My work to fill in the gaps and update the data has helped them establish a better baseline year on which to build their goal for their climate action plan through their participation in the Compact of Mayors, as well as any other future goals to support the sustainability endeavors of the community. Additionally, by analyzing this data, we can identify areas of inefficiency where interventions would be most likely to help reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Through my time in Dedham, I have come to have a greater appreciation for the sustainability efforts at the municipal level, as well as work that involves wrestling with large and complex data sets. So I'd like to give a huge shout out to my mentor, Ginny. I have a huge amount of respect for the passion and commitment you bring to your work. To Megan and Jen for your investment in me, my success, and my mental and physical well-being, and for organizing all of this for all of us, and to all of my fellows for sharing so openly throughout this process. I couldn't have asked for a better cohort to work with.
Thank you, Brittany. Hi, everyone. My name is Taylor. I'm currently a master's student at the Brent School at UC Santa Barbara, working my master's degree of environmental science and management. This summer, I got to work with the town of Amherst developing the greenhouse gas inventory. In 1997 and in 2005, the town had actually done previous inventories, but these are old and no longer useful for community planning. So my job was to establish a new baseline year and do a current emissions inventory so the town can start tracking their emissions. I also developed a methodology to try and make it simple for them to do emissions in future years. As you know, that there are several communities within the NEMS network all doing greenhouse gas inventories, so a big part of this project was to make sure that there's kind of consistent emissions tracking and also being able to share how we've overcome challenges in acquiring certain data, how we're modeling certain activity and modeling certain emissions. And lastly, the town right now does not have a set emissions goal, and this information will eventually be used to develop a climate action plan, set emission goals, and spur other sustainability initiatives within the town. Here are a couple of graphs from the inventory that I completed. Similar to Somerville, we did a community-wide emissions inventory and a municipal operations emissions inventory. I'd be happy to share the results with you at the reception, or if I didn't give me the time to go over them. And this would not have been possible without the help of my mentor, Stephanie, as well as several other employees within the town of Amherst who were crucial in providing a lot of data I needed for this inventory. This is actually the first time I've had a chance to work in the public sector. My previous experience is actually in the private sector. I still think I prefer the private sector a little bit more, but I do have a newfound appreciation for just how hard the town employees work and how dedicated they are to their communities. Thank you.
Thanks, Taylor. Hi, my name is Marissa Bell. I'm from Colorado State University, and I'm in my master's for greenhouse gas management and accounting. And I was in the city of Northampton developing their first greenhouse gas inventory. Through this process, I definitely realized that what you manage, what you don't measure. It was your saying anyway. So, yeah, you can't manage what you don't measure. It's very important. So I know the importance of this, and I definitely see the value of this. And through this, I realized that there is a lot of data to do a greenhouse gas inventory. My final number came out to be 368,444 metric tons of CO2 for the year of 2016. So what have I learned from doing this inventory? Inventories are a collaborative effort. As Lauren stated earlier, no one person can do an inventory. It really does take a whole city to get the data and collaborate together. Don't let the perfect get in the way of the good. In school, there's definitely a right and wrong answer. And while I worked in the city, I realized there's way more gray. Ask for help. Jen and Megan were amazing at always being there for you, and they really pushed you to ask for help and not to struggle. And that was really inspiring to me, and I couldn't have done it without them. And it's okay to discover new paths. So through the midterm presentations, I kind of admired some of your guys' projects, and I realized that I was kind of inspired to move away from greenhouse gas management. And it was terrifying, and it still is terrifying right now, because that's what I'm getting my master's in. But I realized it's okay, and throughout this internship, I wouldn't have figured that out. So huge thank you to help me figure that out. So yeah, great thank you to my mentors, the City of Northampton, my data collection team, and UNH Sustainability.
Okay, so we just heard from a bunch of fellows who worked with our individual NEMS partner communities, and that local work is so essential. And also essential, of course, is for us all to be able to think about how we scale up all those individual efforts, make them add up to something even more than those individual efforts. or even cumulative. So our next group of fellows, who are Jackson, Gabby, and Indy, and also Derek Bolivar, who couldn't be with us today, but I'll tell you briefly about his project in a moment. These guys were all focused on that question: how do we scale up? And so they looked at opportunities to help the NEMS network lead the regional transformation to a resilient, clean energy, zero carbon, vibrant region. I want to just give you a snippet about Derek's work, since he couldn't be here to join us, but he worked on the first baseline assessment for the NEMS network, and so he did profiles of all of the member communities, more than 2,000 member communities, and now they have a baseline to work from moving forward in terms of looking at how to do that collaborative, collective impact work as a network. And Derek's work also informed Gabby and Indy's work. Jackson? Sorry, there you go.
Thanks, Jen. Hey guys, my name is Jackson Massey. I'm a student at Northern Arizona University studying climate science and solutions. My work this summer was, I was working with NEMS to determine a path forward. My work consisted of developing a set of recommendations to help transform the network from an organization focused on idea sharing and communication to an organization focused on advancing sustainability initiatives in New England. One of my primary recommendations was to adopt a compact mayor's goal, try to get all of our members moving towards compact mayor's compliance. This was one of the best ways to maximize the benefits of a new partnership between network and the Sustainability Institute. So this really matters for the network because it allows members and ourselves to quantify our collective contributions to regional sustainability and to get everyone on a standardized goal-setting platform. For me personally, this was really meaningful because it gave me the opportunity to work with sustainability coordinators throughout New England and to get face time with people working in a field that I can really see myself working in after I graduate. I'd like to thank my mentors, Jen Andrews, Cameron Wake, and Dovell Levine. You guys have been great and gave me an amazing opportunity this summer. The NEMS Network interview participants, I really valued your input into the project. Megan, your continued support was just great throughout the project. And then my fellows, it was a great summer. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jackson. My name is Gabby Lichtenstein, and I recently graduated from Syracuse University with degrees in international relations and communications. My project this summer focused on community choice aggregation, or CCA, in Massachusetts. So this fellowship challenged me to assess CCA as a tool with which municipalities can use group purchasing to expand renewable electricity in their energy supply, keep prices stable, and empower residents with choice. I've concluded that CCA is a powerful tool to do this, but it has room for improvement. More than that, my project represents the value of collaboration and shared knowledge across communities. Through this analysis of CCA, other members of the New England Municipal Sustainability Network can strengthen its applications. Specifically, my recommendations focus on local renewable development and community engagement, key tenets of energy democracy. Thank you to the NEMS Network for welcoming me and deepening my knowledge and interest in this complex system that keeps our lights on. To Josephine Lemprey, thank you for your continued support. And to my mentors, Jen, Debev, and Cam, and to Indy, my research partner, for traveling and transcribing with me all summer. Together, our research confronted two fundamental goals of our energy future: renewable power sources and reduced consumption. I plan to relentlessly pursue these goals in my own career and could not be more grateful to UNH for this experience. Thank you.
Thanks, Gabby. My name is Indy Reedshaw, and I'm the other Integrated Climate Solutions Fellow this summer and a recent graduate of Swarthmore College. So the NEMS Network is a group of 30 municipal leaders who are very forward-thinking, and one of their many goals is to find a cleaner alternative to heat and cool their homes. Air source heat pumps, as we've heard earlier, have this potential. So what we did was we researched outreach strategies across New England, really seeing this as one of many climate mitigation strategies to really increase the impact of the and network to get at the deep decarbonization needed for the world's future. I'm very passionate about multi-stakeholder involvement in climate issues. I could really see myself as a liaison between different groups in the future. Our interviews really showed us the importance of the network and our role in strengthening that network. The municipal leaders were very hardworking and really gave me hope in local government as agents for change. So thank you very much to the municipal leaders that allowed us into their offices and welcomed us and gave us glimpses into their important work. Thank you to our advisors, Devev Levine, Cameron Wake, and Jen Andrews for their constant encouragement and enthusiasm. Thank you to all of the fellows for the laughs, and especially Gabby, who was with me through every car ride and transcription. Thank you to Ms. Josephine Lamprey for her constant support for all of us.
Certainly not least, we have Leah, Whit, Jackie, Matt, and Laurel. Come on up. These were all of our UNH fellows that they worked on some sustainability issue at the University of New Hampshire. They worked on specific challenges related to and grappling with zero waste campus, green offices, energy storage, and building resilience to climate change. Leah, take it away.
Yeah. My name is Leah Pelly. And I served as the UNH SI Zero Waste Planning Fellow this summer. Although UNH does not have an explicit zero waste goal, the idea of reducing campus waste does fit in very nicely with the campus's other goals related to energy, sustainability, and climate change. Like many universities, UNH does face a few challenges in its waste reduction efforts. We do have a bit of a seagull problem at our compost pile. We landfill food waste from the dairy bar, and there's a bit of confusion over who exactly is responsible for standardizing waste that's on campus. But there is a bright side. There are a lot of people who care about making UNH more sustainable. And reducing waste can be a manageable stepping stone with very visible implications. If we can get people to care about what and how they waste, we can encourage them to care more about the other components of sustainability. By identifying both positive and negative stories and sharing them with each other, we can see where we've been and use that experience to move forward together more successfully. Case in point, by bringing together the knowledge and resources of over 10 otherwise disparate stakeholders, we've identified 4 possible solutions for composting alternatives that solve our seagull problem. As someone who hopes to tackle the environmental impacts of food waste later in my career, making these connections has been endlessly valuable. Connection and communication are so vital if waste reduction efforts are to be successful and sustained at UNH. I hope that in my few months here, with the help of all of these folks, particularly my mentor, Jen Andrews, I've been able to facilitate this dialogue and move campus towards the future that is waste.
Thank you, Leah. So hi, everyone. My name is Whitman Castano. I'm a rising senior at the University of New Hampshire, studying environmental conservation and sustainability. So UNH has previously struggled to both implement and maintain an employee sustainability and professional development initiative. But in recent years, we've seen an increased demand for new opportunities for employee involvement. So in response to this demand, I'd like to present UNH's Green Office Program. This initiative is comprised of 4 tiers, each with 40 or 50 actionable metrics that encourage a healthier, greener office. The program aims to support staff and faculty as they contribute to the growth of our sustainable learning community, continuing UNH's fundamental commitment to research, education, and practice. As I see it, this is all about creating an ingrained culture of sustainability at the university, and through our staff and faculty, and thus our students. This is how the greatest and most meaningful change will occur, action leading to awareness. Prior to this, I focused most of my efforts on student engagement at the university, but this fellowship gave me the opportunity to work at the staff and faculty level, engaging with stakeholders I never thought I'd have the pleasure to work with. Their diverse perspectives and the wealth of knowledge and experience that I was exposed to was instrumental in creating the program. There are, of course, too many to name right now, but the biggest of thank yous to my mentor, Colleen Flaherty. Your brilliance is nothing short of inspirational. And of course, to the rest of the fellows, I'm humbled to have worked alongside you this summer. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Whit. Hi, my name is Jackie Kinson. I'll be a senior chemical engineering major this fall at the University of New Hampshire. This summer, I worked on a feasibility analysis of energy storage opportunities here at my own campus, which is very exciting. I was able to determine that a chilled water thermal energy storage tank would be the best option for our campus. So at the Energy Office, their goal is to provide a comfortable living, learning, and research environment for their students. By adding an energy storage option, they'd be able to maintain these student needs while also decreasing their energy costs and flattening the demand curve. Energy storage can also help us become a more sustainable campus. By being able to store our own power, we can reduce our emissions, we can add more renewable energy in the future, and we can help become more resilient. So without all of the help I received during this project, my project would not have been successful at all. I would like to thank my mentor, Adam Kohler, the Energy Office, SI, my fellow fellows, and all of the experts in the field who went way beyond their job description just to help me learn. Being surrounded by this passion for sustainability drove me to complete my project with the same spirit and drive that I experienced from all of them. I hope that UNH not only sees the economical benefits behind this energy storage project, but the passion behind it, and decides to move forward with my recommendation for energy storage. Thank you.
My name is Matt LaRue, and I graduated from UNH this spring with a dual degree in environmental and resource economics and sustainability.
And my name is Laurel Bailey, and I graduated from Ithaca College this spring with a bachelor's degree in psychology. And we were the Climate Resilience Fellows at the UNH Sustainability Institute this summer. So resilience is important because despite carbon mitigation efforts, there will be unavoidable impacts of climate change over the next century. So, however, the future impacts that we can prepare for today are the ones that we will have less of an impact in the future. So as campus and community climate resilience fellows, our work this summer focused on the resilience requirements that come from Second Nature's Climate Commitment, which UNH signed in 2007. This is a two-part commitment that requires both mitigation and adaptation efforts.
Our contribution this summer was to create a framework for the adaptation piece of the climate commitment. This framework illustrates a step-by-step process in which to create a campus and community climate resilience plan. We then began the planning process with the university, which involved creating an initial resilience assessment. We expect that UNH and the town of Durham will continue this work and complete the plan by spring of 2019. It is our hope that this plan will serve as a model for other university communities to follow.
So as an undergrad studying psychology, I always thought of resilience in the context of an individual. So I saw it as one person's ability to psychologically overcome adversity. But working on this project, I quickly learned that resilience is both individual and collective, human and environmental. So we need individual resilience to build community resilience and vice versa. And we also need resilient systems in order to be resilient people. So seeing these connections and being able to build resilience in these areas was really beneficial and really meaningful to me.
This project was especially meaningful to me because we know that the climate is changing and that this will adversely impact us. This summer, I was able to interact with many different people who will experience the effects of a changing climate in very different ways. Having the opportunity to work on a project that will help us to withstand and thrive in the face of change is something much greater than myself, and has enforced my desire to continue working in this field.
So we would like to thank our mentors, Jim Andrews and Cam Wake, for their continued support throughout this project and for providing us with big picture insights on this project. And we also want to thank our fellows cohort and everyone at the Sustainability Institute.
We owe a big thank you to our campus and community contacts who spent a great deal of time with us, often twice, to give us thoughtful and insightful perspectives of their operations. And finally, we'd like to give a thank you to the Responsible Governance and Sustainable Citizenship Project for sponsoring this motion.
Okay, before we adjourn, I just need to say a couple of really, really important thank yous. First of all, you heard it before, and I'm going to say it again, without the support of the Thomas W. Haas Foundation and Josephine Lamprey early on and continued, this program would not exist. It would not be what it is, so we're so grateful for their continued commitment to this program. Likewise, we've gotten really valuable funding from our GSFP, the Responsible Governance and Sustainable Citizenship Project, which has allowed us to develop the program further. James Trust Foundation, huge supporter, and Newman's Own Foundation. So we're so grateful to all of our funders. We're also so grateful to the mentors, without whom this program would not be remotely what it is. These people are doing amazing work every day, and we need like 100 more or 1 million more like you. And so we're so thankful not only for your work, but for engaging in the work to build that army of more people like you. And so a huge thank you to our mentor community. We also have a small but mighty advisory committee for the Fellows Program. Mim Nelson, where are you? Mim, there you are. SI's director, Sue McDonough, advancement, Devev, being in the graduate school, Cameron Quake. You guys are like the dream team of like visionary and practical, and so this program would not be remotely what it is without your guidance. So thank you. A big thank you to the UNH Central Administration for support, and of course the Sustainability Institute. As I said before, there cannot be a better home for this program, and so our leadership and our staff and our team, everyone contributes so much. And I know the fellows, as you heard from them, really benefit from that this summer. And so just thankful to have a great home for this program. And I especially want to give a shout out to Colleen and Michelle, who gave like so much logistical support and communication support, and just so much. So thank you. And speaking of giving so much and over and above, Megan Carney, who you've not seen much over. But so thankful to have you. So now we're going to invite you to go outside, enjoy the beautiful setting. Those of you that know Seven Settlement know you're in for a treat. So sustainable, local, and community-based. Awesome. Before you go, 2 favors. Fellows, a favor for you. Everyone else, favor for you. First of all, we made these guys cram. There's so much worth of work into 90 seconds, and so that we could get through it in an hour. And every one of them could have talked for an hour about their projects, and there's so much awesome stuff to hear. So ask them about the details because they're dying to me about them. And we've got 2 hours to drink and eat and hear about them. So ask. And then fellows, but all of you, including the alumni from the program who made an effort to be here today. We're so happy to see you. I've watched all of you guys this summer be so engaged with each other. You're like embodying the vision that we have for this program, which is this network of people on the ground collaborating and being what we need to solve these challenges that we face. And you guys have embodied that, working together, supporting each other, learning from each other. Stay engaged. Stay engaged with each other, stay engaged with us, stay engaged with the alumni, because that's how, and with our mentors and the Notes Network, that's how we're going to solve this problem. And so we need all of you to do that, and we appreciate your engagement so far. So thank you again for being here. We hope to see you next year. See you in winter.